Phillips. 1-3 Alcatraz. 1-3-1 Alexandra Evans. 1-6 Palmer. 1-9 The Bros. 2-3-1 Crazy Squirrel. 3-0-3 the captain Konichiwa. 4-2-0 Mel E. Wana. 6-0-4 Sarah Ekholm. 6-5-8 Hughes. 6-6 Falcon Punch. 8-8 Maiden Sane. 9-5 Pucci. And 9-9-9-9 Monge Moel Q.
And then for Team France, we've got 0-0, that is Gorth. 0-0-7 Mac Rocket. Number 12 Jenna Cross. Number 122 Olive Hoover. Number 13 Gara Lagas. Number 1331 Touri Coutrice. Number 177 Samblandine. Number 18 Miss Gardine. Number 19 Tatiana Galaski. Number 5 Buffon. Number 51 Cash Pistache. Number 63 your captain Pepe Le Punch. Number 737 Dede Fouquet. Number 747 Purple. And number 93 Hooligan.
And we are just under 1.5 minutes ready to go. I'm seeing a huge amount of Team France supporters.
Fans are, look at them all face painted. Box. Hopefully we'll get a camera on that crowd at some point because they have painted their faces. They are ready to go. They're red, white, and blued out.
Yeah, they look very, very excited. And yesterday, of course, Canada had an incredible first day, currently number 2 in the points differentials. Obviously, that's all going to change today as we have 22 more games to bring you. Some brilliant ones already happened this morning as well.
And it looks like we're already about to get started here on the track. For Canada, we have Canada, of course, is in red with some maple leaf detail on their jerseys. France is wearing blue with white accents. Number 66, Falcon Punch for Canada on the jammer line. And then that is number 51, Cash Pistache for France.
I just want to say before the game gets started to our Canadian viewers back home, thank you for giving the world poutine, because it's the most delicious thing that I have ever eaten.
And that is the crowd already getting excited for this game. Again, very exciting games yesterday. There it is. We have a camera action of the crowds.
So the 5-second calls there. And the jam is on. This game, Team Canada against Team France, underway. And it is Team Canada that pick up lead first.
It looks like we've actually lost a helmet cover. Looks like the pivot cover for Team France. And all the action right now at turn 2. Falcon Punch knocked to the outside, having to recycle to turn 1.
Team Canada losing one of their blockers to the penalty box for an elbows call.
All right, Cash Pistache out on her initial pass as another member, that is Team France, going to the penalty box, but Falcon Punch calling it off. 5 points on the board. Team Canada off to a good start. Again, we are at the S1Helmets.co track here today. A lot of the big action games at this track, the loud fans at this track.
Yeah, huge amounts of seating. Look at them go.
They are excited.
I think they've almost doubled in number since yesterday as well.
Absolutely. So that is number 88, Maiden Sane for Canada, Mac Rocket for France.
Mac Rocket having a bit of a hard time coming up against her own wall. Looking like she's trying to find the hole, but Canada's reformed around her.
Again, turn 1 with this very heavy defense game now has seen a lot of the action, but our lead jammer is Maiden Sane for Team Canada.
Maiden Sane gliding through, coming back to turn 1 on that scoring pass. picks up the full 5 points as a forearms penalty has been assessed on Team Canada's
It's a
blocker.
multiplayer block, actually, for Team Canada. Thank you.
And that initial pass completed for Mac Roquette.
And Maiden Sane calling it off, putting another 5 on the board. Team Canada, 10 points. Team France has yet to score.
Yeah, yesterday Canada had that huge win over Russia, 291-0, the biggest win of the day, and the only the second game that had a 0 point on the opponent.
That's right. The first shutout of the day. Later on, actually, it was 293-0, and that was England versus South Africa. But again, 30-minute games yesterday for seeding. Today we have the real deal. Miracle whips for Team Canada. Dédé Fouquet for France.
Miracle whips, toeing the outside of turn 2. Incredibly nimble on the toe stops to pick up lead for Team Canada. And that initial pass completed by Dédé Fouquet.
And then Miracle Whips calling it out as she gets a little... Oh, a back block penalty. We have a power gem now for Team France. A great opportunity for them to get some points on the board.
And that points, no pass, no penalty, picks up 4 points for Team France, the first on the board. Coming.
Miracle Whips was trying to call off the jam as she was getting that back block penalty, so...
Only Canada with 3 blockers on the track, 2 for Team France.
Dédé Fouquet not to the inside. That is Monge recycling her to the back of the pack as Canada reforms their small wall. Alexandra Evans rejoining the pack.
Miracle Whips now back in play.
Olive Hoover is doing a lot of damage here at the back of the pack, recycling Miracle Whips. Miracle Whips is through.
Skating under her real name today, if you've noticed the difference in the team kit.
That's right. Maréchal is her real name. And that is on her back of her jersey, if you can see that on your screen. And then you can hear the French crowd roaring as another 4 points go on the board. 13-point jam for Team France. Team Canada picking up 4 on that last jam. 21 for Canada, 13 for Team France.
Kaya skates, quad roller skates, plates and accessories for roller derby, lifestyle, park skating and dance. It's time, kaya-brand.com.
On the jammer line for Team France, that's your captain Pepe Leponche. And then for Team Canada, it looks like Meliwana. That's right, yes it is.
A strong start for Team France, getting out in front early on.
Team France with their pyramid wall, but she is through. Meliwana on the inside, sneaking through lead jammer for Team Canada. That's Tatiana Galaski going to the penalty box for Team France. Joining her, Garala Garce. So pack advantage now for Team Canada, 4-on-2 in the pack at turn 2.
Meliwana making light work of Team France coming round turn 2 to pick up the full 5 points. Only 2 of Team France's blockers on the track. Now only 1 of Team France's blockers left on the track as 3 currently sat in the penalty box, making it all that bit easier for Team Canada.
Yes, Tatiana Galaski now back in the pack. A lot of Tatiana Galaski making short work of Meliwana, knocking her to the outside, forcing the recycle at turn 2. And we have a penalty call, a forearm block on player number 13, Garalagas for France. Melewana, your lead jammer, another 5 points go on the board. Big jam so far, Melewana, 20 points so far.
And an incredibly busy penalty box as Palmer goes to the penalty box for Canada.
Another 5 points for Melewana. She is just making short work of this track, circling around.
A huge jam for Canada as it comes to a close. 25 points picked up, 29 points picked up by Team Canada.
France having a little bit of penalty trouble in that last jam, constantly sending one or two on a rotation, so they only had one player or two players in the pack. It's hard to form a wall when you have your blockers in the penalty box. Melewana taking advantage of all of the opportunity and sliding through the inside line. Now on the line, that is Falcon Punch for Team Canada and Cache Pistache for France.
And Canada picking up lead. Cache Pistache yesterday worked incredibly hard on behalf of Team France. Gets the initial very quickly after Canada. They call it off, denying France the opportunity to put anything more on the scoreboard.
Excellent rotation. Falcon Punch, as you saw, she was turning around and she just had to get her hips past those two players. She just snuck her hips in, called it off as Team France was coming around the outside. France has yet to take the lead jam in this game. Team Canada and many players from Montreal on this team doing a good job taking the lead jam.
So that's Crazy Squirrel stepping up for Canada, going up against Mac Raquette. Mac Raquette getting out in front already. Very close to the front of the pack, gets knocked off. Coming up against a bit more resistance, giving Canada the opportunity. Crazy Squirrel.
Player number 16 for Team Canada in the penalty box. We have pack advantage now for Team France. And Sarah Ekholm rejoining the pack for Canada. There's a back block penalty call on Team Canada.
A successful star pass by Team France. Your active jammer for France now is Hooligan, but as the pack picks up speed, Canada deciding to call it off.
Team Canada now 55 points, 13 for Team France, and we have a team timeout for France.
It gives us a great opportunity to say Sweet80.com is the new roller derby inspired leisurewear brand dedicated to Claire Sweetovix Lawrence. Sweet 80's range of hoodies, jackets, vests, tees and accessories are perfect for the track, gym and street. Suck it up. A portion of profits go to the Claire Lawrence Foundation to fund brain cancer charities. Sweet80.com, wear, roll, give.
Looks like the coach is having a word with the team. Again, we saw in the first few jams there a little bit of penalty trouble for France, so I'm imagining they're probably trying to tell them to tighten it up a little bit in the pack. The pack has been spreading out a bit. We had at the first few jams very tight defense for both teams, but as the pack is loosening up, Team Canada finding the holes and putting those points on the board.
So Team France's bench coach / Gordon just popping into the middle of the track to speak to Raichi Tokside, the head ref for this game.
So Maiden Sane for Team Canada, Dédé Fouquet for France. And Dédé Fouquet looks at the lead jammer for France as the French fans go crazy. So that team timeout obviously worked. Have a word, get your head together. Sometimes all you need is a minute to regroup.
And I look And it is a power jam for Team Canada as Didi Froquet makes her way to the penalty box.
We had a bunch of players go down all at once. It was hard to see what was going on down there. Thank goodness for the refs with their eyes on the details.
All 189 of them here this weekend at Event City in Manchester.
This is a huge event, 4 tracks of roller derby all weekend long. So between turns 2 and 3, a triangle pyramid formation of Team France.
All players now return to the track. Didi Froquet now approaching the back wall of Canada. An incredibly strong triangle.
That's right, that's Jenna Cross and Olive Hoover at the front of that triangle. And Team France around the outside, picking up 4 points.
That team timeout has worked wonders for Team France as they're really holding Canada in place. Didi Froquet taking quite a big fall to the outside of turn 3.
As Monge goes to the penalty box, that's a pivot for Team Canada. And a reverse skate and around the outside. Didi Froquet picking up 5 points.
That was a thing of beauty.
Again, the athleticism and the quality of skating has just increased momentously over the years.
And a back block assessed right at the end of that full 2-minute jam to Team Canada blocker.
So Team France picking up 12 points on that last jam with 25 now, closing the gap a little bit. Team Canada picking up only 4, so 59. We have a replay here on the outside. So Pepe Leponche, your captain for Team France, jamming. That is 123 Miracle Whips or Marichal for Team Canada.
And Team Canada using every last second of those 30 seconds before calling a team timeout.
So we'll take this opportunity to thank some of our sponsors. Kaya Skates, the Kaya Sapphire lightweight composite shell from the box fit, affordable, durable, and available now. Hashtag it's time. Kaya Skates. Fifth Blocker Skates, skater owned and operated since 2011. Gallus.
So yesterday, looking at Team France's performance, we talked a little bit about Canada. But yesterday France played Wales and won. It was 185 France, 54 to Wales. They lost against Team USA, but I was on that game and France held their own. They looked like a strong, tight team. It was 166 to 47.
Which is a pretty impressive score considering Team USA after some of the shutouts that we saw yesterday. So Team France, of course, the crowd going crazy as they were putting up scores. 119-point differential in that game, which is not too bad considering.
So Pepe Leponche stepping up to jam for Team France. Going up against Miracle Whips. And another lead jam for Team France. Rapturous noise comes from the bleachers from the Team France fans.
So the second lead jam, second in a row on this game. On the inside, a back block penalty assessed for Pepe Leponche. So now we have a power jam for Team Canada. Miracle Whips at the helm of that.
So twice leads for Team France, twice resulted in a power jam for Team France as well. So Canada being given that opportunity now to really put that score difference between the two.
Or to quote Pastic Patrick, a super jam. As we say, 5 more points for Team Canada, now with 64.
Pepe Leponche now standing in the penalty box, returning to the track.
And Miracle Whips or Marichal trying to find an outside lane. She finds a small little space and around the outside. Another 5 points on the board as Pepe Leponche is coming up against the wall of Canada.
Some really nice footwork from Pepe Le Punch on the outside of turn 3, just to nip past some of the Canada blockers. But gets pushed to the inside, but a penalty call on the Canada blocker means that Pepe Le Punch is through to pick up 4 points.
Pepe Le Punch around the inside. As the pack sort of spreads out, she's finding a hole, but she is not to the inside. That is Monge that took her to the inside, forcing the recycle.
The full 2 minutes coming to an end. An official review being called by Team France.
Well, let's see if we can see that replay. And now there was some question on the jammer. Miracle Whips looking for a call. We'll have to find out what they are talking about. In the meantime, let's take some opportunity to thank some of our lovely sponsors.
It's a big shout to Roller Derby City, UK-based, owned and operated merchant uniform-based, shipping worldwide. They supply uniforms and merch to nearly every team in the UK, leagues, roller derby brands and events, including everything Roller Derby World Cup 2018 as well. Check them out, rollerderbycity.com.
So now, again, Team Canada, 18 points in that last gem, unless, of course, the official review tells us otherwise. 77 for Team Canada. Team France picking up 7 points on that last gem. As of now, 33.
And someone found the air horn.
Yeah. Well, I remember when it was the vuvuzelas were the big thing. Now air horns do just as well, making some noise. Of course, Team France with a big fan base here.
Huge. And it's just, the crowd are just awash with colour, supporting all the different teams. I have to say, from the moment we walked in yesterday morning for that first game until now, the atmosphere has been absolutely electric every last moment. And it's the fans that have been making it.
Oh, that's right. Well, and I think having this World Cup in England as a very sort of central location, you're going to see a lot of the European teams and the fans. So the crowd speaks for itself. I mean, I don't know if you can see here as they're getting an idea as the camera is passing around, but the stands are completely full, as is all the floor seating. So again, very exciting.
Yeah, come Sunday, we are going to see, and the Mexican waves are going. I don't know if we can get a camera to pan to that, but
all right, we're coming. So the official review still happening here. Roller Derby Elite, level up your game.
And there we go. We're going to see the Mexican wave going around the bleachers all the way. Look at that. What a great shot. And here comes to the broadcasters.
You've obviously had your coffee this morning. You get that energy level. So your lead scorers for France. We have Dede Froquet with 26 points, and Meliwana with 29 points, your lead scorer for Team Canada. So only 3 points between these two particular jammers in the scores.
More or less the entire way through that official review, that wave was going on. So we'll bring you the information on that official review as soon as we have it.
Well, I can see in the penalty box is Miracle Whips, so something happened there. Obviously a penalty was called on her. She is going to sit this one out, so we're going to have a super jam for Team France with Cache Pistache. As a jammer, and Cache Pistache through immediately as your lead jammer.
Blink and you would have missed that one. Creating some speed around that pack. Through on the scoring pass. The full 5 picked up
France's blocker is doing a good job rattling Team Canada, making some holes. They're getting the pack a little bit looser. Their jammers are getting through, and they have been for the last 3 jams and picking up lead.
Some offense being provided by Buffon.
So Monge at the top of the pyramid there for blocking, but Miracle Whips out of the pack on her initial pass as Cache Pistache calls it, but not before putting 10 points on the board on that last jam for Team France. So 43 now for France. Canada was 77. 14 minutes left in this first half.
Buffon picking up a forearms penalty just as the whistle was being called in that last jam.
All right, so we're going to start this next jam then with pack advantage for Team Canada as Falcon Punch lines up for Canada, and that is Mac Rocket for France.
Mac Rocket bending down around the Canada wall, but seems to find that hole and picks up lead. Something about the team timeout 5 minutes ago has changed things for France, and it is a power jam as a forearms penalty has been assessed.
So Team France, last 4 jams picking up lead. Twice now Team Canada's jammer in the penalty box. And Mac Rocket picking up 5 points. 1 for...
And only 2 Canada blockers remaining on the track. France going in full offense. Palmer,
yeah, the only one up front. Another forearm penalty this time though on Mac Rocket. So now we're going to do a little switchy-changey with our jammers, and super jam for Canada. Falcon Punch as your jammer for Canada.
Falcon Punch is like a jack-in-the-box coming up against those Team France blockers out front, Gare-Laglace and Buffon.
So now France, all 4 blockers at the front. Pyramid at the front for Falcon Punch.
Buffon getting trapped and shut out by Team Canada, allowing Falcon Punch through. Mac Rocket now back on track, coming in for another scoring pass. Finds that gap on the inside of turn 4.
So 10 points on the board so far for Mac Rocket and Team France. 4 for Team Canada so far. Skaters go down on the inside.
But everyone got back up again.
As they do, here's the replay of that as you see the skaters going down and the whistle going.
Mac Rocket doing some kind of magical matrix move as she approached the Team Canada wall.
That's right, you get very bendy. All right, so it looks like we have a power jam, a super jam with Meliwana, the only jammer on the track for Team Canada, as a penalty was picked up at the last whistle for Team France. So super jam, power jam for Canada.
So
Escadine trying to hit Meliwana at the last moment though, but Meliwana through lead jammer for Canada.
And the jammer for Team France is standing. Mac Rocket now returning to the track. But Meliwana is pushing incredibly hard, approaching turn 4, but France building around her, forcing her off, recycling her all the way back to the straightaway.
That was Saint Blandine taking Meliwana to the outside, forcing the recycle.
And as Mac Rocket returns with a vengeance, picking up, denied the opportunity to add any points to Team France's score.
Canada only picking up 4 points on that last jam now. 89 for Canada, Team France with 56 as we get ready to go into jam number 12 with a little less than 10 minutes on the clock. for this first half, of course. We have another half after this. Pepe Leponche, your captain for France, out on the jammer line, and joined by a Crazy Squirrel. And Pepe Leponche knocked to the inside, but doing her best against that three-walled pyramid on turn 1 for Team Canada. Both jammers facing the respective three walls as number 16 Palmer goes to the box for Canada. So pack advantage for France. All blockers on Crazy Squirrel. And your lead jammer is Crazy Squirrel. Hot on her heels though. Falcon Punch.
Yep, it's a race now. The pack quite static, but a lot of movement happening within it. Crazy Squirrel jumping into it, picking up, both jammers picking up 2 points apiece.
That's right. Pepe Leponche was not going to deny that. She was raced as soon as she got through and made sure that she picked up those 2 points with her hips. Dédé Froquet for France on the jammer line. And I'm having trouble seeing the jersey for Canada. We'll find out shortly.
So low.
We have one player for each team in the penalty box. So 3-on-3 in the pack.
And Dédé Froquet picks up lead jammer for Team France.
It is maiden insane for Team Canada. Only one blocker to get through. She is through and on her initial pass.
Full complement of skaters now on the track going into turn 1. Dédé Froquet calling it off, giving away 1 point to Team Canada. France picking up 3.
All right, so score update in just a moment. Did you know that by the age 14, girls are dropping out of sports at twice the rate of boys? We think roller derby can help change that, and I definitely agree with that. Learn more at girlsontrackfoundation.org. Falcon Punch for Canada, Maroquette for France.
Falcon Punch already dragging out the front of the pack and picks up lead. The initial pass completed for Maroquette. Four points picked up for Canada. Just over 6 minutes left on the first period.
Shout out to Rodel Skates, proud sponsor of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. Cash Pistache, number 51 on the jammer line for France. That is Meliwana, number 420 for Team Canada. 4-on-4 in the pack.
We are just one blocker down for Team Canada at the moment, who is currently standing and returning to the track. Cash Pistache being recycled back.
That was Pouliche or La Montagne. Oh, huge hit to the inside from Alexandra Evans, forcing Cash Pistache to the back of the pack.
An incredibly tight three-wall being put forward by France. But look at the strength driving that forward from Meliwana, who has picked up lead for Canada. But also on the initial Cash Pistache.
And there is the whistle. Looks like Canada put 3 more points on the board. They're just shy of 100 with 99 points. Team France with 61. They are still in this game. There is no denying France. Pepe Leponche lining up on the jammer line.
Don't forget, you can keep up to date with all the action happening across all the tracks on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook using hashtag RDWC2018.
So Miracle Whips for Team Canada, Pepe Le Punch for France. Full complement of blockers for both teams, as both teams getting their walls won at turn one, and your lead jammer is Miracle Whips Team Canada.
Pepe Le Punch completing a successful star pass to Team France's pivot, who completes the initial Gare Lagasse, but it's called off, denying France the opportunity to change that 61-point score they currently have against Team Canada's now 101 as they break the century.
So we're just Team Canada just picking up quick points now and just doing a having a 1 or 2 point jams.
Hit it and quit it.
Hit it and quit it, exactly. They started off the game with long points, and now we are going to short points. It looks like the defense for France has dialed in Canada a bit.
Yep, so Didi Fouquet for Team France, Crazy Squirrel for Team Canada, and the lead for France has led to an eruption of noise here on the S1 Helmets Company track.
Yes, we always know when France has lead jammer because the crowd reaction.
An electric atmosphere. And
huge apex jump at turn one.
3 points picked up by Canada, courtesy of that apex jump. 2 points picked up by Team
Looks
France.
like we're going to see that instant replay here as the apex jump from over turn one. Oh, they didn't quite pick up the whole jump. It was impressive, let me tell you. Team Canada 3-2 on that jam. 104 Canada, Team France was 63.
So that is Macroquet stepping up for France. Going up against Falcon Punch, who very promptly picks up lead. Macroquet having quite a hard time at a very solid Canada wall, even though they're only down to 3 blockers on the track. France currently with 2. And it looks like we've had the star is currently on the floor. You'll see it just the inside of the straightaway.
That is Team Canada's star. We have a star pass actually for Team France now. That is Gare Lagasse has picked up the star. Falcon Punch is your jammer. She has now retrieved her helmet cover.
And it is a power jam. A forearms penalty goes against Team France's Gare Lagasse.
So Falcon Punch, your lead jammer, 5 more points on the board for Canada. Now 8 so far for this jam. As Falcon Punch gets tousled around the front of the turn one there, but another 5 on the board, doing well so far with her super jam opportunity.
Bigly Smalls going for a sit down in the penalty box for Team Canada.
And Gare Lagasse is out, picks up 4 right out of the penalty box.
Canada currently running the jam, calling it off, adding another 3 to their score.
So big jam for Team Canada. I just mentioned the short points in the last jam. Well, we have some long points here, courtesy of the Super Jam, the Power Jam, at 120 for Team Canada, 67 for Team France, and it looks like we're going to have an official review. Perhaps we can see a replay on our track, but until then, we will thank some of our lovely sponsors.
So Revell is the leading tech performance equipment for women in contact sports. The Revelia bust and shoulders protection for women was awarded at ISPO, the world's largest sports and innovation fair in the world. RevellContactwear.com, #make an impact. So that's Slash Gordon for Team France that's gone in to call the official review and give you that much.
All right, well, we will wait for that. We'll go ahead and thank Pivot Star. Pivot Star UK is here for you. Top quality derby wear with flawless design. Tops, tanks, shorts, leggings, and our world famous hoodies alongside stylish sublimated uniforms. Visit the Pivot Star UK stall today. Alternative athletic awesome.
So we're going to bring you the info on that official review as soon as we've got it. Meanwhile, Casper Stasch stepping up for Team France, Melijuana for Team Canada. And a multiplayer block has been assessed on Canada's 1-3-1, and lead has been picked up for Team France in the last few seconds of period 1. The initial completed by Melijuana.
And Casper Stasch picks up 4 on the inside of turn 3.
Canada now also on scoring passes. Canada down 2 blockers.
Casper Stasch with the long points here does call it off and puts another 4 on the board as Melijuana was coming around the outside. 75 now for France, 124 for Team Canada as we go into halftime. So the official review, we saw that helmet cover come off. They decided it was of natural course, so there's no penalty picked up. It fell off quite by accident and it was retrieved. So there we go, the official review.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed the first half of this great game between Canada and France. 124, currently plays 75. We're seeing an incredibly strong side from France battling back against Canada.
And we have a whole 30 minutes left in this game. Again, yesterday was just 4 seeding, so we saw what happened just in that 1 minute timeout that Team France took. Now we have 15 minutes for them to reform, regroup, and get their heads back in the game. Again, we saw them with a great game against Team USA. Only 119-point differential, but considering the rankings of those 2 teams, quite impressive. Again, both teams played Wales. Team Canada did come out ahead with 165-point versus 103-point differential against that team. Again, both teams pretty evenly matched, so I think we'll see a very exciting second half. So don't go away.
And we'll be back here on the S1 Helmets Company track very shortly for the conclusion of this great game between Team Canada and Team France. So welcome back to the Roller Derby World Cup 2018 here at Event City in Manchester, hosted by the illustrious and wonderful Rainy City Roller Derby. When you left us, Canada were on 124, France on 75, and as you probably saw during halftime, if you tweet or post on Instagram using hashtag RDWC2018, your post can make it to the live feed, and we love reading it because it's really you at home, and all that buzz that you put around this incredible event is what makes it.
So a couple of things from the first half. At that last moment, apparently Canada was asking for a multiplayer block from France. They did not win that call, so the no call stands. Should we do some penalties?
Yeah, so overall, in the penalties front, Team Canada are on 27 as a team, 21 for Team France. There's only really one that's on standout penalties maybe at this point, and that's Bigly Smalls for Canada, currently on 5. But there's nothing really, I would say, any cause for concern if you were sitting on the bench at the moment.
Now the first half of that first half, we saw France get into a lot of penalty trouble, and of course that reflected on the board with the scores. But again, Canada ending up with more penalties overall, and then you saw that happening kind of in the second half of that first half. So again, both of these teams very equally matched as far as defense. Offense, of course, right now going to Canada, but we're going to have a whole different half, I think, as we change team benches and regroup.
Yeah, we've also got a few clean sheets in there as well. Crazy Squirrel for Team Canada currently on a clean sheet. Looking at Maiden Sane as well for Canada.
And Melijuana
Marijuana also on a clean sheet. There's a few on Team France's side.
Cash Pistache,
Yeah, really clean. And considering that Cash Pistache has been working, going into 10th gear.
And everybody else on Team France has at least one penalty. Tatiana Galaski with 3 is the and Garalagas also with 3. So nothing distressing yet, but again, we have a whole other half to go.
So 20 seconds away from the start of the second half. Get comfy on your sofa, stand in front of your laptop, or whether you are at work cheekily watching this on an extra screen or on your phone. Thanks for being with us. Cash Pistache on the jam line for Team France going up against Canada's Falcon Punch.
Cash Pistache for playing for Toulouse Roller Derby, and she did play with Roller Derby World Cup in 2011, so a few years in between her debut.
Falcon Punch going for the inside line, while Cash Pistache is coming up against a incredibly tight wall, pushed to the inside, outside, going through to pick up leads, the first time for France this period, because it's the first jam of the period.
And Falcon Punch on her initial pass. It looks like a direction of play penalty assessed as the whistle was blown. That is the pivot for Team France. That is
So this is the moment.
Hooligan.
Yeah, this is just as Team France got lead, breaking through the pack, getting out on before even hitting turn 1.
That's right. Thank goodness for the replays sometimes. They come in very handy. As Pepe Leponche, your captain for France, lines up on the jammer line against Meliwana.
Meliwana getting out to the front really quickly, coming up against the last chance from Team France, but breaks through to pick up leads. Pepe Leponche removing the helmet cover from her head, currently held in hand.
That's right, she's got that pyramid wall of defense from Canada. Kenichiwa, or Otaki is her real name that she's skating under. 5 points for Canada on the board as Pepe Leponche gives a star pass. So the pivot now taking the star.
Quite a graceful star pass, but now the pivot having an equally hard time getting through Canada. A great first start for them in the first couple of seconds of this game.
So Hooligan, the pivot with the star in her hand, as she faces a fierce wall, and as Alcatraz up at the top and Hughes. Hooligan forced to recycle behind the pack at turn 3. Meliwana, the only jammer scoring, 15 so far on the board. And Hooligan is through on her scoring pass. Big hit to the outside from Tuli Coutris, forcing Meliwana to call as Hooligan was approaching the back of the pack. So here we have the replay here in turn 3. Players going down, and you see Meliwana on the inside.
Good start coming into the second period from Canada, nice and strong. Towards the end of the first half, we were seeing lots of very short, quick, small point jams.
Yep.
But coming back, completely changing tactic again, 17 straight on the board.
And that's how Canada started the first half, on the long point scores. So Meliwana, the top scorer, it's 53 points for Canada of the 141 they have on the board.
It's a crazy swirl going up against Didi Fouquet, and it is a power jam for Canada as Didi Fouquet makes her way to the penalty box.
There another blocker, that is number 63, Pepe Leponche, in the penalty box, so pack advantage for Canada as they approach turn 3. All 3 of the blockers for France trying to hold Crazy Squirrel back. Crazy Squirrel is through, 5 points.
The Wolves readily preparing themselves for the re-entry of Didi Fouquet. Both jammers in quite a tight pack, all taking place within a few feet of each other at the moment, as Canada's blockers are now all present and together, stretching out.
That's right, we have Miss Gardine at the front here, Saint Blandine on the blocker pyramid with Crazy Squirrel, and then of course that is the pivot for, that's Monge breaking up that wall, letting Crazy Squirrel go through for another 5.
Crazy Squirrel using her teammates to get a little bit more momentum coming into an incredibly strong 3-wall from France. Crazy Squirrel actually having struggling a little bit.
That's right, Monge doing a good job, but she is breaking up that wall. We have a power jam, a super jam now for France, as Crazy Squirrel has a track cut penalty. So that is the end of that jam. 154 for Canada, 13 points for that last jam. Team France not scoring that, but they have an opportunity starting off this jam in a super jam, power jam for France with Matt Roquette as your jammer.
Yeah, but last time this happened for Team France, I think it was actually Matt Roquette that arrived at the line with the Canada jammer in the box, and she was through in a matter of milliseconds. So we're going to see something similar, or we are. She darts round the outside of the Canada blockers, picks up lead.
Just so agile, doing a little toe stop action, holding that corner. That was a pretty big wall of blockers on the outside of turn 1 for Canada, so very impressive skating.
Coming through on that scoring pass. Last line of defence by Canada. France deliberately stretching out that pack. The full 5 points. Both jammers now in play.
Again, Marc Roquette doing a good job finding those holes. We have a star pass now as Konichiwa, or Otaki as you see on her jersey, the captain for Canada, taking the helmet cover.
Yeah, and I think that's the first time we've seen Konichiwa with the helmet cover this game as well. So are we going to see Konichiwa do something with that, coming in on a scoring pass? Marc Roquette looking incredibly strong, 9 points already on the board for Team France in this jam. Takes a big hit to the inside of turn 2.
Konichiwa skating for Queen City in Buffalo. But we have a track cut penalty called on Marc Roquette, so Konichiwa is your super gem jammer. Konichiwa was on Team Canada in 2014. Again, I mentioned she skates in Buffalo, New York, which is practically Canada because it's awfully cold in Buffalo. 4 points for Konichiwa. Again, skating as Otaki, her real name on the back of her jersey. As she twists and turns, it looks like she got a penalty, possibly on that last. Nope, she did not. Apologies. She picks up points. 7 to be exact for Canada. Team France picked up 11, so Team France now with 90, 161 for Canada, 162 for Canada. They assessed that last point. Looks like there's some discussion about the points actually, as you see the coach for Canada in the center of the track. That is all right, Miracle Whips for Canada, Cache Pistache for France. And the pivot for France joins the pack now, but your lead jammer goes to Miracle Whips for Canada.
Cache Pistache just taking a knee as she approached turn 3.
The pack is stretched out all the way from turns 2 to 3 as Cache Pistache gets through on her initial pass.
A full complement of skaters on the track as the whistle is called on. So get a different shirt from a different roller derby league every month from around the world. Just sign up to the Roller Derby Shirt Club at rollerderbyshirtclub.com.
So we're just looking at the rest of that instant replay here as we see all the action there was stretching out the pack, as I mentioned, it went all the way from turns 2 to 3. France actually does quite better when the pack is stretched out like that. Pepe Leponche for France, Made Insane for Canada, and your lead jammer is Made Insane for Canada.
Made Insane getting a huge amount of speed up coming out of the pack, coming in for that scoring pass incredibly quickly.
They have to let her through. Pepe Leponche now ready to score as Made Insane. We lost 2 players from Team Canada. Now it was number 19, Labrosse.
And number 43.
I think that's 13 actually.
Yes.
Alcatraz. It's hard to read these numbers from afar. So there we go. 2 Team Canada blockers in the penalty box as we go into this next jam. Canada picked up only 3 points the last jam. 167 for Canada. France with 90. So a big opportunity here for France was all 4 blockers. We're going to have a timeout called.
An official timeout for the moment.
All right, so let us thank some of our friends. S1 helmets, the S1 Life Visor helmet, next level protection. S1, the official helmet of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. And of course, today you are listening and hopefully watching to all of the action here on the S1helmets.co track. The biggest crowd so far on this track this weekend.
Both Canada and France's benches looking like they're in good spirits, calm, collected, got themselves together.
They do. So again, pack advantage as that was a multiplayer block called on Dede Fouquet. So we're going to have a little jammer switcheroo and now super jam for Canada.
And it's Canada that pick up lead.
That's right, so starting in the box, Falcon Punch comes out of the box, picks up lead as Dede Fouquet goes to the penalty box. So again, a super jam, power jam for Canada. Full complement of blockers back on the track. 5 more points on the board for Canada. Turn 1 now with all the stop track action as Falcon Punch screaming through the outside of turn 1 on the straightaway here. Oh, a big hit to the inside as Dede Fouquet gets knocked down and then knocked down again at turn 3 to the outside as she resets behind.
Recycled all the way back to the start of turn 2.
That's right, the whole entire length of that track, huh?
Yeah, and she approached turn 3 so elegantly on the outside as well. But she's now through.
Olive Hoover going to the penalty box for France. So Falcon Punch calling it. 12 points picked up for Canada, 2 for France, 179 to 92. A list under 18 minutes left in this game. So halftime conversations, both teams coming out very similar to the way they did in the first half of the first half.
Yeah, and it looks like Team France are calling a timeout.
And it's a very similar timing. It's almost like watching a replay of the first half. We saw Canada come out strong the first half of the game, and now calling a timeout. France trying to reset themselves, get their heads together. A little penalty trouble at the end there.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see a repeat of the first half when, after the team timeout, France come back and the first thing they do, pick up a couple of leads.
That's right. Sisu mouthguards, the official mouthguard of the 2018 Roller Derby World Cup. And now we have a wave heading out. So I learned some interesting trivia at the halftime. So 1986 World Cup football, what we call soccer in the United States, was the first time we saw the wave, and it was called the Mexican Wave because Team Mexico was playing. So I'm very excited about this sports trivia I've learned. I actually have never heard the term Mexican Wave. I've just heard it called the wave.
I think we should call this the roller derby wave now, because it's just a continuous stream going around the arena.
That's right. Well, let's call it the roller derby wave. I like it better. Oh, starting off on the right side with Team France. So Mac Roquette for Team France, Meliwana jamming for Team Canada. One player for each team in the penalty box as our lead jam is picked up by Team Canada.
But Mac Roquette hot on Meliwana's tail, coming up to approach the back of the pack incredibly quickly. Meliwana calling it off, and France picking up 1 point.
That's right. Hit it and quit it, pick up those short points. You only have to win by one. Of course, Canada a bit further in the lead than that one, 81-93 for France. So 3 points picked up for Canada, 1 for France. They were able to sneak one in as that jam was being called. Again, you just have to pass with your hips, get those points, and that's it. Crazy Squirrel, number 231 for Team Canada. That is number 51, Cache Pistache for France.
Cache Pistache popping into that wall, popping back out of it, but Canada is still surrounding her.
Jenna Cross recycling Crazy Squirrel to the back of turn 1. Meliwana on 100% lead gem ratio. That's very impressive.
Wow. France's Cache Pistache further at the front of the pack, and it is also a power jam as a forearms penalty has been given to Crazy Squirrel. This is a great opportunity for France. A full offense coming in.
Turn 3 now, seeing a little action. Cache Pistache doing an excellent job sneaking through the inside as Monge goes to the penalty box. And we are in a power jam for France with Cache Pistache sneaking through the inside again, untouched for 5 more points for France.
Crazy Squirrel making her way back onto the track, approaching France's 3 wall. As Cache Pistache coming in for another scoring pass. Hooligan providing some of the offense to try and create a hole.
Hooligan knocking a power. She's just putting all her force, barely moving Alexandra Evans, who is the helm of that pyramid formation here between turn 3 and 4. So Monge rejoining the pack as France picks up another 4 points. So now, so far 9. They've reached the century mark, 102.
That's met with an overwhelming response from the crowd. A very happy...
Huge jam. Oh, we're going to watch a replay here. This is turn 3. And yep, she found the hole in there. Picking up those points, 12 points, huge jam for France. 12 points, 105 for France, 181 for Canada. As we have an official review, we will try to find out what that is in a moment.
Called by Team Canada.
Excellent. Sucker Punch Skate Shop, as Europe's original Derby-owned and devoted skate shop. Sucker Punch is dedicated to helping you with honest advice to find exactly what you need and more. Our technical know-how and expertise is unrivaled, as is our availability of your favorite gear and the fast shipping we offer throughout Europe. Visit us at suckerpunchskateshop.com. So looks like we do have the jammer for Canada in the penalty box right now. Probably part of this official review. We'll find out, like I said. Hopefully they will tell us. Pepe Leponche with the jammer star for France as she's the captain trying to assess this official review. Konichiwa, also known as Otaki, your captain for Canada.
So the officials coming together in the center of the track. A very calm-looking Canada at the moment.
Well, I think they're probably pretty comfortable with the lead they have so far. Again, anything can change. We still have 14 minutes and 17 seconds left. We've seen some big jams already. I think the biggest jam so far this game was the 25-point jam. That was Team Canada. Team France, biggest jam so far is the one that we just saw with 12 points. Oh no, actually though, we had a couple 13-point jams in jam number 3 and jam number 7 of the first half. France, biggest jam for Canada, 29 points. And again, that we didn't see that. We saw that in the second jam of the first half. So it looks like we are going to start off in a super jam, power jam with Pepe Leponche as your jammer, 4-on-4 in the pack.
So we said we'll bring you that official review information momentarily. We're just waiting to have it relayed to us. In the meantime, on the track, France losing their pivot to the penalty box.
That is Gara-Lagasse. So between turn 1 and 2 is where our pack is moving. Pepe Leponche only sliding to the inside, picks up the lead jam. So power jam, super jam. Crazy Squirrel is released from the penalty box. She has her star in her hand.
Attempts an apex jump, but doesn't quite land it, so is recycled back, but with incredible speed running out the front of the pack, but picks up a forearms penalty. So Crazy Squirrel is returning to the penalty box. It is a power jam again for Team France. Another 30 seconds for them to do some great work with.
So that official review, as we saw, the jammer was in the penalty box because Canada challenged a high block on the jammer, and they got the call. So there we go. So that is that jam called. Team France scoring 5 on that jam in their power jam. 110 now for France, 181.
So that was, I think, a bit of a strategic call off by Team France. Just going to have another look at it.
So that was Crazy Squirrel coming out of the penalty box with her star in her hand, but now she actually is back in the penalty box, and we're going to start off again in a power jam, super jam for France, with Dédé Froquet as your lead jammer for France.
Dédé Froquet using
barely leaving the jammer line and getting that lead jam.
Yeah, using the shirt of Jenna Cross to just kind of sneak past and get through on the inside line.
These stretchy uniforms come in handy sometimes. It used to be whips. Now we just whip off each other's wardrobes.
And a very smooth exit on that scoring pass to pick up 4 points. And again, this time on the outside, both jammers now back in play, but Team Canada are a blocker down on the track.
Dédé Froquet, your lead jammer, in control of this jam, does get recycled to the back of the pack by Sarah Ekholm from Canada.
And a multiplayer block has been assessed on Team France's blocker. That was Buffon.
Otaki again, Konichiwa now second time taking the star or the helmet cover for Team Canada and a star pass, but Team France with the big jam, 13 points for them now with 123. Just 58 points between these two teams with 11 minutes left in this game.
Team France, again, that timeout. It's that strategic timeout in the first 10 minutes of the period that it's worked in their favor.
Well, that's all part of the strategy now is managing the clock, managing your timeouts. Everything goes to the game now. So that is Mac Roquette for France, Miracle Whips for Canada.
Mac Roquette coming up against a strong three-wall Team Canada, picking up lead. Miracle Whips coming in now for that scoring pass. Team France currently down 2 blockers.
Mac Roquette with a helmet cover in her hand as she tries to get around on the outside here at turn number 4. Gets knocked out pretty hard there by Labrosse for Canada.
Mac Roquette yet to make that initial pass with 40 seconds gone on this jam. Having quite a hard time of it. But hopefully now with all of her team now joining her back on track. There we go, the star pass has opened up, and that gives Gara Lagasse the ability to don the star.
But Miracle Whips just finished her 3rd lap, so 15 points for Canada. Big jam for them. Actually, 17 points as the refs update the score. There we have a replay here at turn 1.
And that was the beautiful star pass that allowed Gara Lagasse to get out and forcing Canada to call it off.
Star pass and apex jump all at once.
Smooth.
Very smooth indeed. 198 for Canada. Team France 123 as we have about 9 minutes left in this game.
So that's Falcon Punch for Canada.
Cache Pistache for France.
And it looked... A forearms penalty has been assessed on Team France's jammer, so Canada given the opportunity to pick up lead. 30 seconds they will have with no opponent.
Super jam. Oh, a big hit from Olive Hoover to the inside, forcing Falcon Punch to recycle.
Olive Hoover doing an amazing job of trying to retain Falcon Punch. France reforming quickly, but Falcon Punch is creating those holes. Gets through on the scoring pass.
So Cache Pistache now out of the penalty box, going to recycle back. She's behind Ekholm at the back of the pack here as she gets knocked down and tousled about here. Only one more skater to get by for Cache Pistache, and she is through on her pass. So that is the end of that jam. Team Canada picking up 8 points. 206 now, 123 for France, and another official review.
So if you're a big fan of your cheese, I am. I love a good cheese board. Cheddar, Gouda, Swiss, pepper jack. Get your cheese with cheese balls. Available online. Check out Cheese Balls Precision Skate Bearings.
They're not really made of cheese, though, are they? I would hope not. That would be awfully squishy.
Yeah, I don't think they'd, give your wheels what you're looking for. I have heard they are incredible bearings, though.
That's right. So official review again, we will find out as soon as our official NSO comes and lets us know.
And again, a massive amount of love goes out to our 198 officials here with us this weekend, 4 days. We had 36 games yesterday, 22 today.
I've been in that official room a couple of times because that's where they're having our lunch. I have to say, it's getting a little ripe in there. And it's not the cheese, let's just say that. And there's the air horn as our fans get riled up here waiting for this official review to finish.
It's incredible that the crowds on day 2, quite early in the day, are maintaining this electric level of noise and a cacophony of sound filling Event City Arena in Manchester.
So I see some of our referees here. We've got Killer Bite over there, looking for some jersey names. I don't have a
Killer
list
Bite.
of all of our officials, but hopefully someplace there is a list of all of our wonderful officials and NSOs that are helping us this weekend.
And also, they're all out of shot at the moment, but there's an army of mustard yellow t-shirt folk here with us that are basically making it happen. All of our amazing volunteers laying tracks. They've been here since Tuesday, and they will be here at least a day or two after we all go home. So a massive thank you to Rainy City Roller Derby and the volunteers that have put together the first UK Roller Derby World Cup.
And it's no small feat. Again, as we mentioned, there are 4 tracks here in this huge venue at Event Center. So again, recap on the score, 2:06 now for Canada, with 2 of their timeouts already used. 1:23 for France, 1 timeout used, and an official review still in process.
In the meantime, a big thank you to Blood and Thunder, whose belief is life's better on roller skates. Visit them at bloodandthundermag.com for roller derby inspired apparel.
So Pepe Le Ponche is lining up on the jammer line for France. Meliwana for Canada. That is Monge, the pivot for Canada in the penalty box. So Team France with all of their blockers. As Pepe Le Ponche looking for her hole on the inside as she pushes against that wall, and she finds it. Lead jammer for France.
And in the meantime, at the back of the pack, Canada, Meliwana yet to make that initial pass. Really struggling. France fielding an incredible wall. That official review that Canada called must have done France, given them that opportunity to come back together and strengthen up, as Pepe Le Ponche coming through to complete.
And that was Gorth and Purple at the back of the pack, holding Meliwana back for 40 seconds until she got her initial pass. France picking up another 4. So 1:27 now, France, Canada, 2:06, 6.5 left in this game. So official review, France called for official review. They requested a forearm penalty against Falcon, but the no call stands. So that is the end of that review. So lining up, Dede Froke with a 75% lead ratio for Team France. Made insane for Team Canada. 4-on-4 on the pack. Huge hit to the inside. That was number 88. Made insane playing blocker. But lead jam does go to Dede Froke, and we have a power jam as Made Insane picks up a 4-arm penalty. So let's see what France can do with their 30 seconds in their super jam.
And it looks like quite a lot, making light work of Canada on the inside of turn 2. Coming back in for another scoring pass, getting up some real speed. France coming in with the offense, trying to create those holes.
A little passive to offense at first. Oh, and we have a low block penalty called on player number 95. That is Pouliche or La Montagne. So Dede Froque around the outside at turn 4 picks up another 5 for France. Untouched on the outside for Made Insane, picks up 4.
Wow. I sort of had a momentary, held my breath.
That's right. Well, the pack just didn't quite get there soon enough, but she was just zipping around the outside, using that outside lane as her express lane.
And Elkholm landing a well-timed, rather large hit on Dede Froque, recycling her all the way to the back of the pack. Coming back in on Elkholm.
And it's Monge at the back. And La Montagne, number 95, trying to bust it up. But France is picking up another 5 points as Maiden Saint looking to answer with the same. She picks up a 4 as well. So we're just going point for point here. Team France coming out ahead, though. 18 points on that last gem, 12 for Canada. So now Canada 218, 145 for France as we watch the replay here of Dédé Fouquet on the inside.
And picks up leads.
Dédé Fouquet with 64 points so far this game for France.
Just under 4 minutes left on the clock for the game. Macroquet and Miracle Whips for Canada. Miracle Whips picking up lead incredibly quickly.
And Hughes recycling Macroquet to the back of the pack, opening up a hole for Miracle Whips to get through, and now she is on her scoring pass. 5 points for Canada. Oh, on her toe stops, but forced to the inside. Macroquet having to recycle now.
Macroquet creating a big hole in Canada's wall to get through that initial.
So she is now scoring, but of course Miracle Whips sees her coming, looks to her coach, shall I call it? He says yes.
Yes.
Please do. 8 points for Canada. 226 now. France with 145.
Are we going to have a look at lead and just making absolute light work of Team France coming out through there.
That was turn 1. Yes, just absorbing those hits, kind of like a, I don't know.
Oh, I wish we had the camera on us then as you tried to replicate the movement that took place on track.
Well, I could feel it through my body like jello, you know. Falcon punch back on the jammer line for France, for Canada. Cache Pistache for France.
2 minutes left on that period clock. Cache Pistache finding the gap, but picks up a cut track penalty in the final couple of minutes of the game, allowing Canada to pick up leads. And a super jam. You say it with much more finesse than I do.
Jam. Well, that's our friend Patrick over on the house call, doing a bilingual call, and that I've listened to his terminology. I wish I spoke more French derby, but I do not. 5 points for Canada, Falcon punch.
Meanwhile, Cache Pistache is now standing in the penalty box, will be returning imminently. Released, comes very quickly up against Canada. Canada not looking completely prepared to receive her as a cut track penalty has been issued on Falcon punch. So a complete switch in the last minute of the game. Cache Pistache given that opportunity to put some more onto France's score.
So again, the game does not end with the period clock. It ends with the jam clock. But of course, this jam, the jam clock and period clock so close. So this may be the last jam. We may be able to sneak one in. But of course, Cache Pistache now picks up another 5 points for France. 10 so far. 5 for Canada in this jam.
And a back block's been issued on Cache Pistache as Falcon punch returns to the tracks. We've seen another swap. We've only had one jammer on the track for nearly the entire jam. 10 seconds left on the jam clock, 18 on the period clock.
So we will get another jam because they cannot call it because of their penalties. So we lost our lead jammer. So we went the whole 2 minutes. And let's see if we get another jam. We're trying to call a team timeout. France still had a timeout. I don't know if they called it in time.
Did France? They're certainly trying to call it now.
Well, they tried to call it with that last 5 seconds to buy another jam. It looks like they did win because we have some jammers lined up.
That
possibly not.
There is just a small amount of confusion. France
now
are currently in the centre of the track, putting forward their case that they did call the official the timeout in time. France's fans are in complete red, white and blue bodysuits.
So the scoreboard does say the unofficial score is 241 to 155. Again, Team France had another timeout. I think they did try to call it because you have 5 seconds to call it off to buy yourself another jam. It looks like they're discussing that possibly in the track right now. Again, we cannot predict the outcome of this.
Yep, and there's been a revision, so up 2 seconds on the clock I can see from the jam timer, put 2 more seconds on the period clock, and Canada and France looking ready to take another jam.
Okay, so France using their timeout to buy that last jam, which they need, but they are going to start off with Cache Pistache in the penalty box and Meliwana as the only jammer on the track. So again, very important to use your timeouts wisely. You keep that last timeout, especially when you're down. Team France doing an excellent job of clock management with that timeout. Again, they're not going to win this game, but again, they can close the gap.
Yeah, and that points differential still makes a difference as we then re-rank. That will give us, our top 16 teams as we go into the latter part of the weekend. So it does make a difference. We've seen it. If you looked at the rankings as they currently were, it wouldn't necessarily be in an order that you would expect. But that's what today's for. Today we're going to see those rankings solidify, change a lot. There might be a few people that jump into spots that you'd expect them to be in. And we are seeing a final jam on the track.
It is a big risk for France, though. They do have 2 blockers in the penalty box, so Meliwana picking up the lead jam. Only 2 blockers, that's Gara Lagasse and Gorth, as the only 2 blockers for France, as 5 more points go on the board for Canada. Now Cache Pistache re-entering the track behind that diamond formation, the pyramid formation. That is Traz at the back of the pack there for Canada. 5 more points go on the board for Canada as all the blockers go in for Team France. And now they're going to try to shut her down. We have a star pass now for France.
And that star pass completed successfully, allowing France to complete the initial as it goes to Gara Lagasse. And Canada choosing to call that off. Meliwana calling the game to an official end.
That's right. So I don't know, it was a bit of a risk again for Team France. They wanted the opportunity to put some more points on the board. Did not work in their favor, unfortunately, as they did start short with only 2 blockers and no jammer on the track. 13 points for Team Canada on that last jam. So now the unofficial score, we will get the official, but 254 for Canada, 155 for France. And here we are.
Yeah, and the fans are flooding the track. They can't fit around the track. Enjoyed the game as much as we did, as they want to give a high five to both teams. Incredible performance from France. The final official score, Team France 155, Team Canada just shy of 100 points in front with 254. And one incredible game.
That was an incredible game. Again, today is going to still add to the rankings. The point differentials make a big difference. We've got some incredible games lined up for the rest of the day.
Yeah, and look at that. What a fantastic shot. It really just says how amazing and electric the atmosphere is at the Event City in Manchester. A real feeling of support, competitiveness, but everything that just embodies roller derby is taking place here at Event City in the UK in Manchester.
That's right. 37 teams competing this weekend. We did have a couple fall out, unfortunately. This is a volunteer sport and many people paid their own way. So we did lose Team Colombia this weekend. Again, you at home can help support roller derby and your skaters and just keep this sport going.
So thank you for joining us here on the S1 Helmets Company track. There are 2 more games currently taking place. Switch over fast, I would say, on the feed to catch all the action. Don't miss a trick. #RDWC2018. I've been Brom.
And I still am Electra Blue.
And thanks for joining us. And a big thanks to Chief, our producer, here with us on this game.